Blessed be all of my Aries people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what's going on with your monthly astrological weather forecast for July 25th, 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. If you're watching this in June, I've got my solstice sale going on right now, 25% off all live appointments with me, and video reports if you'd prefer to order those instead. So what's going on when it comes to your July? July is a wild month. This one is all cylinders go. This is a month where we have many planets making many moves in many different areas of the chart. They're not all organized and in one nice clump the way they've been this last 7 months. And we start off with, of course, this beautiful Sun and Jupiter combo in Cancer, your 4th house of home, family, living situation, and home economy. And this combination is all about good fortune, big wins, and big advancements. And for a lot of you Aries people, this is just going to be an overall cozy, lucrative, and wealthy way kind of month for all things on the home front, and even things relating to home investments, home-based business operations, real estate concerns, and as well as shared income you may have with family members and spouses and household members. It's just all in all a really, really good time, and a lot of you are moving on up in the world here. We've also got Venus in Gemini, your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, helpful third parties, and as well as collaborations. And with Venus being the planet of favor, affection, generosity, and love, this is going to be a month where you are going to want to make sure that you are allowing for good interference in your life. Good interference coming in the form of handoffs, hookups, hand-me-downs, people offering to matchmake you with things, refer you to things, take you off of maybe some of your beaten paths, and learn to do things other people's way. This can show up in ways that are highly beneficial to both your social life and your professional life, because with Venus, we love to see gifts, we love to see, again, favor and popularity, and this month it's all about making sure you get it. Mars is in Virgo, your 6th house of work, your reputation, your schedule, the teams that you're on, the people that you serve, and the people that you serve with. And this is going to be a highly competitive month for you. Mars is all about power, passion, potential conflict, but also obstacle clearing. And so for a lot of you Aries people, you're going to be noticing that you're making some serious competitive gains in the workplace. And yet at the same time, this can also be a month where it's possible you could be bumping heads or clashing or crashing up against some teammates, or maybe even some competitive situations, work rivals, business rivals. This can be a month where you're also noticing business kind of boom around projects, assignments, and hours. Just be careful not to let the candle burn too hot and run out of wax before the month is through, or else you're going to have to find some extra steam another way. Uranus, the planet of invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation, is also entering Gemini, your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, and commitments. And with Uranus here, you're going to be noticing that throughout the course of not only July, but pretty much the rest of the summer, you're going to be getting a chance to start mingling with a lot of different projects, a lot of different storylines, and a lot of different roads that could be actually changing the way you look at your future when it comes to your career, what you want to be involved with, who you're collaborating with. This can indicate really good news coming your way from your peer group, and because Uranus is in your 3rd house, your peer group can also, of course, not just talk about work peers or community peers, but also peers amongst family members, in-laws, especially those within your generation or generational range. However, this can also indicate some radical trajectory shifts with some future plans in a very, very good way, but again, could create some upheaval as we go through maybe adjusting what we walked into July with for what we are heading towards post-July. We also have Saturn and Neptune coming together and turning retrograde in your sign. And so this is a time where you might be noticing kind of an overhaul to a lot of personal projects, personal roads, personal ambitions, what you want to do with your life, and how you want to perform in your life. Saturn and Neptune retrograde could be argued to be less complicated to deal with than when they are direct. And when we have these two as a combo here, we're seeing, of course, this mix of both truths being revealed and veils dropping. Neptune is going from being the planet with the rose-colored glasses to the planet with the X-ray specs. And Saturn turning retrograde is all about easing restrictions and limitations and removing of confining conditions, especially around personal projects, personal paths, and personal ambitions. Just keep in mind, there are going to be some eye-openers, but also some gorgeous wins coming your way here as well. Mid-month, we have a full moon in Capricorn, which is going to be falling in your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, station, promotions, and raises. And with a full moon here, this is all about you getting a chance to make some kind of important break with a career path, a work path, or maybe a condition in order to graduate into something that is not only superior in your eyes, but also something that is more personally satisfying and fulfilling. Now, for a lot of you, the second half of this month could indicate a big shift in terms of what you want to do for a living or where you want to orient yourself in terms of a professional trajectory, and maybe even start that journey in July, but carry it on for the rest of the year. And for some of you, it is likely just going to indicate a big role change, a big road change, or some kind of promotion or raise opportunity, or perhaps all of the above for some of you that's going to be getting in the making as we go through the second half of July. And finally, for the second half of July, we've got a cluster building with a new moon, the sun, and Mercury retrograde in Leo, your fifth house of love, romance, partnerships, but also creative enterprises, personal business enterprises, anything where you are maybe doing anything artistic that you would like to display to the world. And this is all about new beginnings that change old decisions and trajectories. Now, when we have Mercury retrograde in the mix with the new moon and the sun, what we often see is something coming up where you are getting a chance to create some kind of brand new start in your life around your personal life, a relationship concern, or again, a personal business or artistic ambition. However, what it's going to do is that it's going to require you to be ready to, again, change or unmake some kind of old decision, or perhaps revive some kind of old decision or old ambition. So that's what we've got for your astrology for July. I hope you found this helpful, Aries. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. Remember, sale going on here for the second half of June. Y'all take care, and I'll see you soon. Blessed be all of my Taurus people out there, sun, moon, and rising. It's time to have a look and see just what's going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather forecast for July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. If you're watching this in June, the second half of June, I got my solstice sale going on, 25% off all live readings and all scheduled video reports. So whichever one floats your boat, you've got a sale going on there. So what's going on when it comes to your July? Well, July, it's kind of wild. We've got all cylinders go, a lot of planetary action in way more signs than we've been used to this last 7 months or so. And we start off with, of course, the Sun and Jupiter together in Cancer, your third house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, as well as collaborations and helpful third parties. And this is all about good fortune, big wins, and big advancements coming to you through the help of other people, whether it's on the job or off the job. People are really getting more involved in your space and in your life. Now, depending on how you feel about that, you may have to evolve on certain beliefs or evolve on certain sensibilities. I know plenty of Tauruses that I love very much that are not going to be happy about it, but you're going to do very, very well if you allow yourself to be hooked up. This can indicate some very important roads opening for you, both in your social life and in your professional life, because of the actions, the hands, and maybe the arrivals or the involvements of helpful third parties, your peer group, your network, and allies. And this can just work out for you across the board. This can even indicate some kind of opportunity for a massive evolution in a personal project, a business project, or an ambition, because some new helping hands are really working things over with you. We also have Venus in Gemini, your second house of income, employment, and security. And this is a time where the planet of favor, affection, generosity, and love is turning you into a bit of a money magnet. And you may be noticing that your work life or your income streams are all going to be feeling that. With favor and generosity involved here, this could be coming from just people hooking you up just to be nice to you. If you're looking for new job opportunities, if you're looking to maybe make some negotiations or transformations around pre-existing work or financial setups, this is absolutely your month. But also be ready, you're going to be enjoying a bit of popularity in the professional sphere as well. And professional relationships, new and known, are going to be thriving. We also have Mars in Virgo all month long, which is your fifth house of love, romance, but also creative ambitions, artistic projects, and personal enterprises. And with Mars in Virgo, the planet of power, passion, but also potentially conflict and obstacle clearing, things are getting very heated up here. Now, heated up can be very, very good if we're looking to get a little bit wild in the passion department or in the love department. But it can also be very, very good because Mars can often bring in helpful people into your life to make a personal dream come true, which is kind of a running theme of this month if you haven't noticed. You know, people who could be coming in as champions to you or your cause, right? The ideal, friend or the ideal ally to help clear obstacles, whether they are obstacles to finding love, obstacles to getting a business off the ground. Romantic partners are also kind of going into superhero mode for you. And if you are single or available to new people, Mars is going to be drawing in some rather active but also hardworking power couple energies for you to take that for a spin if you're down for that kind of chemistry. We also have Uranus entering Gemini, your second house of income, employment, and security. And with Uranus here, this is the time where the planet of invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation is changing the layout of your material world. Now, this can indicate some disruptions to certain financial or professional setups, and yet at the same time, I've also seen with Uranus in the second house for a lot of people in their personal transits when I'm doing personal readings, that they also go through some very big surprise wins. Now, this could indicate for a lot of you over the course of the next few months, there could be some changes in the role you want to play in your vocation or in your field, or you may be finding out about some very novel ways to bring more wealth to yourself or to your family, but you are going to need to be, of course, very careful, not naive, and get up to speed on how to do it safely and intelligently. But with Uranus here, this could also, again, create some upheaval, even to your schedule. Consistency is not to be expected with this transit. We also have Saturn and Neptune, both turning retrograde at the same time in your 12th house, Aries. This is the area that rules the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, and shortcuts. Now, with Saturn and Neptune going retrograde, I've often found that they're less complicated than when they're direct, so this might be seen as a good kind of pair of retrogrades for you. But we are going to see over the course of this next few months certain truths and veils, kind of coming out and getting revealed, veils getting dropped around old stories and old business. And this can, however, also open up hidden opportunities and hidden secrets that maybe would be very important for you to know. Sometimes this can happen where it can be very helpful for us in our everyday. Sometimes it's going back in our personal history. Sometimes it's going back into family history. We may also be finding out about some things that could change our viewpoints of certain situations, storylines, and narratives of our lives, and yet at the same time also open up new worlds to us if we evolve with those changes as well. Saturn retrograde is also going to be easing restrictions and limitations and removing confining conditions around problems that maybe have been ongoing obstacles or blocks for you. And so the easing of restrictions and limitations that have followed you from the past will also be a kind relief. We have a full moon in Capricorn mid-month, which is in your 9th house of expansion, growth, big moves, big travel opportunities, as well as anything to do with your prominence and popularity. And this full moon over the course of the second half of July could be helping you to make some kind of important big moves or big travel plans happen, if that's what you have on the table or what you would like. If not, this could also be bringing some important awareness or important growth to something in your life that you would like to see grow, that you would like to see thrive, that you would like to see actually gain awareness and support from others, and possibly even close the distance between yourself and valuable resources and valuable people that will be a help to you. And we also have in the second half of the month another cluster building up, with the sun, a new moon, and Mercury retrograde all rolling in through Leo, your 4th house of home, family, living conditions, as well as home economy. And with this combination coming up here, we're seeing actually new beginnings that could also change a lot of old decisions that you have once made, or old plans that you once made around household economy, residential concerns, or living conditions. However, this can actually be a really good thing, because a new beginning can also indicate a new slate when it comes to your household income, family relationships, or your personal sense of security. But it can also require you to be ready to change an old decision, whether it's bring an old decision back to life or to replace an old decision or old commitment with something better. So that is what we've got for your July 2025. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Gemini people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see just what's going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather forecast for July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in that down bar below. If you're watching this in June, my solstice sale is on now. 25% off all live readings and all recorded video report deliveries. So whichever one floats your boat, you've got a sale to enjoy there. So what's going on when it comes to your July? Well, we start off with the Sun and Jupiter together in the sign Cancer, which is your 2nd house of income, employment, and security. And the Sun and Jupiter together, it's all about good fortune, big wins, and big advancements for you. And you might be finding that this is going to be, well, a fairly wealthy way kind of month across the board. And this is a time where Jupiter and the Sun are also coming together to help you understand what are the proper conditions for the ideal financial setup, or what is setting you up for success and prosperity in all regards, whether it's how we work, where we work, who we're working with, who's in our life, who's not, what we're doing, what we're not. And with the Sun and Jupiter together, you really want to pay attention. When is the luck working out for us and when is it not? Sometimes it can be a bit of a learning experience in the beginning, but they are always going to be treating you very sweetly while you learn. We see more happy reinforcement than negative reinforcement. And a lot of you may be finding a lot of income streams that you have, or maybe even income plans that you had once, tried to work out for yourself, are going through some very important level ups. We also have Venus in Gemini, your sign, throughout pretty much the entirety of the month, with the planet of favor, affection, generosity, and love turning all of its attention on you and your personal story, your personal path, your personal ambitions. And this is going to be a month where you're really getting back to, well, what your personal road and story is, irrespective of what you may have tied up with other people, other concerns, right? Sometimes we aren't living our own life. We're not living our own organic story. We are living the life that we built around our job or a family setup or a friendship or a relationship or a marriage or whatever. And we do need to be able to come back to our own story and our own life every once in a while. And Venus is actually kind of bringing a lot more favor to that. Now, of course, you are turning into a favor, affection, and popularity magnet, but you also want to pay attention to where a lot of personal goals, dreams, and ambitions that have either been deferred or blocked or maybe, just kind of compromised are getting more support than what, you have been maybe giving your support to instead. We also have Mars in Virgo all month long, which is your 4th house of home, family, living situation, and home economy. Mars is the planet of power, passion, potential conflict, and obstacle clearing. So this is kind of a mixed bag. Mars in the 4th house can be really, really good, especially when it comes to any kind of home-based business operations, home renovation projects, moves, or sales that you are looking to make. Mars is fantastic for this because, again, it's removing all obstacles and challenges that might be slowing up or holding up any important works there. This can also be a really important time where a lot of big boosts to your home economy are happening as well. But Mars in the 4th house can also bring up a lot of conflicts around residential and family concerns. And sometimes this could just be stirring the family drama pot, or it could be stirring up some challenges around household setups, arrangements, and understandings and structures that do need to be reformed. We also have Uranus entering your sign, where we are going to be seeing your personal path once again becoming more of the main character kind of story. Uranus in one's 1st house is all about the planet of invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation, transforming the lay of the land of your life in order to kind of reset where you have drifted from your own story. Now, this can be a really good thing if you've been kind of feeling awash and away, if you've been feeling out of sorts, if you've been feeling lost, if you've been feeling like you've not been yourself, or again, you're kind of just living a role, or you've kind of lost touch with you. However, this can also bring up some moments of personal revelations and recriminations as well. Pay attention with Uranus in your 1st house because you're going to be getting a chance to go through some radical shifts in a good way, especially around personal projects and ambitions, where you're going to see where the way a lot of things are going to work out for you, just not according to the way you thought they would or under the conditions you tried to make them happen. With the planet of invention and novelty, you have to be ready to evolve and adapt with what you are seeing is showing you the truth of what's going on, and not necessarily keep focusing on what is old or what is tried and true. We also have Saturn and Neptune both going retrograde in Aries, your 11th house of friendships, your support system, and community. Now, with Saturn and Neptune retrograde, one could make the argument that these two are much less complicated when they are retrograde than when they are direct. I'm kind of neutral on that, but that is something you might hear in the astrology world. But when Saturn and Neptune both turn retrograde in the 11th house, this is a time where we have both truths being revealed and veils dropping, but we also have the easing of limitations, restrictions, and confining conditions. This is going to be a very important summer for your social life and your personal connections, especially when it comes to Neptune retrograde, helping you to actually see where you might actually be better set up through transforming the way you look at your support system. Now, sometimes truths being revealed can indicate hidden opportunities or good fortune coming our way because of things being found that we've not been able to find for ourselves. However, this can also indicate a lot of reveals going on about the true nature of important influences, figures, and people in our life, good and bad, and you might be swapping around how you look at your priorities and where you give your favor. That might not always be easy. Saturn turning retrograde is easing restrictions and limitations and confining conditions around your social life and having the support system that you want, and that, of course, is just good across the board. We also have mid-month a full moon in Capricorn, which is all about culminations, transitions, and endings, and this is taking place in your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, as well as anything to do with debts, investments, or responsibilities you may share with partners, business partners, or romantic partners. And this is going to be a very important second half of the month where a lot of you could be getting a chance to break free from a lot of ties that bind that have been maybe working against you, not for you, financially and professionally. This can also be a very important full moon for destroying some walls that may have been blocking intimacy that really goes to the right places with our core when it comes to all things romantic, intimate, and sensual. We also have finally for the second half of the month as well. A Sun, New Moon, and Mercury retrograde forming a new cluster as we see them all decide to come together and join forces in Leo, which is your third house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, as well as collaborations and helpful third parties. Now, with Mercury retrograde, a new moon, and the sun at the same time, the second half of this month and early August are going to be bringing a lot of opportunities for fresh starts, new beginnings, and new commitments, which is really, really good, but it's going to force you to be ready to go back on, remake, remand, rewind, or undo old decisions and old trajectories that you once planned. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, and we may have to be ready to make some important decisions around contracts and agreements or involvements in order to seize the right day. And with this new moon coupled with Mercury retrograde, that could be exactly what's on the table for you as we go through the end of July and into August. So that's what we've got for your astrology and July. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all my Cancerian people out there, sun, moon, and rising. It's time to have a look and see just what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather forecast for July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. If you're watching this in June, my solstice sale is on, and the second half of June, 25% off all live readings and recorded video reports from me. So whether you want to schedule a live call with me or you'd like to order the delivery of video report, there's something for you to enjoy a sale on. So what's going on when it comes to your July? Well, we start off with the Sun and Jupiter together in your sign, bringing good fortune, big wins, and big advancements to you personally, with everything relating to your personal ambitions, personal goals, personal path, and personal projects. Remember, whenever we have any kind of celestial activity in our first house, it's really all about bringing us back to our personal story and our personal path, irrespective of what we might have going on with other people or work or family or relationships or friends or whatever, because we do need that. Now, you might be finding that with Jupiter and the Sun together, you're also becoming a bit of a wealth and prosperity magnet, so money is going to be gorgeous for you, pretty much not just for July, but also throughout the rest of Jupiter's term in this part of your chart, which is going on for another year. And you may also find some opportunities to really raise yourself up in terms of what you're getting back for what you're putting out in the world. But you are going to need to be ready to take some important steps out of some small ponds. We also have Venus in Gemini pretty much all month long, your 12th house of the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, and shortcuts. And with Venus in the 12th house, this is a time where love, favor, affection, generosity, and popularity could be coming to you through private channels. This is definitely a time where a lot of you may be taking some getaway periods when it comes to your personal life. Love and romance is kind of a little bit more of a hermitude kind of experience, whether it's getaway retreats with a sweetheart or perhaps even new love opportunities coming to you through secret ways or maybe through hidden channels or wallflowers stepping forward or maybe, just getting a chance to connect in ways that are not necessarily so in your face. This is also a time where a lot of important gifts and favors done for you might not necessarily be known to you, people acting behind the scenes in your favor on and off the job. So be prepared. Again, the world of secrets in the past is going to be very sweet to you. We also have Mars in Virgo all month long. This is your third house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, as well as collaborations and helpful third parties in your peer group. And with Mars, the planet of passion, power, conflict, and even obstacle clearing here, you may be noticing a lot of people stepping forward and helping you to fight and overcome battles and obstacles that you have been fighting by yourself. However, you are going to need to be ready to allow people to help you break down those barriers and do that work too. And you're also going to need to be ready to let them do it their own way. They might not necessarily always be complying with what you would like to see in terms of how problems get solved or issues get resolved, but they will be taking care of you nonetheless. Mars in the third house can also indicate some very cool competitive wins coming your way through the involvements of others. We've got Uranus entering Gemini as well as we go into through July. This is your 12th house, again, of the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, and old business and shortcuts. And Uranus is the planet of invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation. And for a lot of you, this is going to open up a very strange period where you're getting a chance to kind of go and live a different life that you almost lived. Now, this could be something that you are slowly integrating through July, and for some of you, this could be something that is coming on really, really fast and really, really strong. Uranus does bring a bit of upheaval in the 12th house, not necessarily in a bad way, but it can shake up our roots, it can shake up our structures, it can shake up our beliefs about ourselves, the narratives and understandings that we once had. But also at the same time, invention, novelty, and experimentation are going to be opening new doors. When we talk about living a life or doing things that we didn't do, or living a life that was running, that we almost did but didn't, this could be changing a lot of things about the rest of your year. How you handle your social life, your professional life, your personal life, how you handle you and personal projects and ambitions. But whatever's happening with Uranus, just be prepared. With Uranus also being here, some very important secrets and shortcuts are going to be opening up to you that are going to help raise you up in the world, but it's going to require you to deviate from some paths and some highways that you have been maybe over committed to. We also have Saturn and Neptune turning retrograde in Aries, which is your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, and promotions and raises. Now, Saturn and Neptune retrograde can be argued to be less complicated than when they are direct. And so for a lot of people, this can be seen as a very good thing. But when they combine together in the 10th house like this, you might be going through some very interesting awakenings career-wise, as far as where you could be actually doing better and where you could need to be ready to do better because those opportunities will be afforded to you. Neptune retrograde is all about revealing truths and dropping veils and getting things cleared up where they have been too mysterious, too murky, or maybe even misinformed. And we also have Saturn easing restrictions and limitations to your growth and to your success and removing confining conditions. So this can all be a very, very good thing, but it may change your relationship with what you bring to the table and what you want to do or make your mark on the world with. Mid-month, we also have a full moon in Capricorn, which is your 7th house of partnerships and closest one-on-one connections. This is the area that rules all of your most involved one-on-one involvement. So the boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all of those kinds of connections. And a full moon here is a graduation, transformation, and transition period. So over the course of the second half of July, you may be finding that there is a radical change in the road that your life, as it relates to partnerships and close connections of all kinds, is taking. Now, for some of you, this can indicate an important graduation or status-changing kind of period as it relates to an important relationship or several in your life. This can also indicate the end of an era that you've been living as it relates to your personal life. This can be a great time. If you've been, if you're single and looking, well, this could be the end of the time of being single and looking. This can, however, also close a road that maybe a partnership or a working alliance or a business partnership has been on, and, well, adjust it and move it and veer it onto a different road as well. Just keep in mind, this is about closing up a story or closing up a chapter or an era in important relationships, and eras do need to change, so other things can change too. Finally, as we go through the second half of the month, we've got the Sun, a new moon, and Mercury retrograde all coming together, creating a new cluster experience in Leo, your second house of income, employment, and security. And this is all about a very interesting opportunity for a fresh start, new beginning, and a clean slate as it relates to a financial or income matter or an employment matter. But it's going to require you to also be ready to change an old decision or an old plan. And this is going to be something that's going to come up at the end of this month, but also run a lot of August. Now, this can be a good thing, but again, changing an old decision, whether it's unmaking an old decision or just deciding to go make an old decision you didn't make, or whatever you're rearranging, it can be something that serves, again, the purpose of a clean slate and a new beginning. So that's what we've got for your astrology and July 2025 Cancerian people. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all my Leo people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see just what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather forecasts for July 2025. And just a quick reminder, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow those links in the down bar below. I've got a sale going on right now. If you're watching this in June, 25% off all live readings and video reports with me. So whichever one you'd like, a live call or, again, a video report, there's something for you to enjoy a sale on. So what's going on when it comes to your month? Well, we start off with the Sun and Jupiter together in your 12th house of the past. Private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, and shortcuts, Cancer, where they are working together, bringing in good fortune, big wins, and big advancements, but through roads less traveled, or maybe even roads untaken. With the Sun and Jupiter together in the 12th house, this is a time where a lot of you Leo people are getting opportunities to maybe actually make some big scores outside of your everyday interactions, everyday commitments, and everyday connections. And this can also indicate possibly the resurgence or return of either old money, old work opportunities, old business ventures. Now, this can sometimes show up with the same characters and the same conditions of the past, or it could be the same opportunities under newer, better conditions with different people, or set up better for the present. And this is something that's going to be, again, a very strong theme of July, and Jupiter's really going to be just here hanging out for the next 12 months anyway, so you might want to get used to it. We also have Venus in Gemini pretty much all month long, where she is lighting up your 11th house of friendships, your support system, and, of course, community. And Venus is the planet of favor, affection, generosity, and love, and you are becoming quite popular this month. In fact, if you've been looking to maybe expand your social circle, or get out and expand your social horizons, or maybe even take your love life and your relationship out of bounds and into, maybe some more adventurous and outgoing spaces, this is going to be a really, really good month for you. In fact, it might be something that's just going to be showing up whether you planned for it or not. With Venus in the 11th house as well, this is also a time where you may be noticing that your closest people, in terms of the people around you, the people most involved in your goings-ons, are also going to be really stepping it up in terms of what they are providing for you in terms of value, favor, and generosity. And again, attracting even new friends and new opportunities there as well. And for those of you who are single or available to new people, it may even be through a social circle or through a group or community you're a part of that new love is on the way. We also have Mars in Virgo all month long, which is your second house of income, employment, and security. And Mars is the planet of power, passion, conflict, but also obstacle clearing. And with Mars in your second house, this month is probably going to be putting your nose to the grindstone, but in a good way. Mars in the second house is all about breaking glass ceilings, breaking financial limitations, breaking professional limitations, and you may be finding also some mandatory, whether you ask for it or not, overtime, but also some big financial and competitive scores are going to be on the way for you as well. Just be careful with Mars in the second house. This can also sometimes stir up some conflicts in the workplace with the workforce, or maybe even clients and customers, and you don't want to let yourself get too heated or too reactive. We also have Uranus entering Gemini, which is that 11th house of friendships, your support system, and community. And with Uranus being the planet of invention, novelty, upheaval, and even experimentation, this is the beginning of a multi-month period where, especially for the duration of July, but even August and September, you may be noticing the layout or the lay of the land of your social life and your support system going through a radical change. A lot of switches and swaps, a lot of faces, a lot of characters that maybe have been there for a long time, not so much being there, kind of stepping back, getting replaced by other ones. This can be a time where maybe that is what you would like, especially if you're looking to maybe start a brand new path, a brand new story, or a brand new sense of village and community in your own life with the right people. However, this can also bring in a time where that novelty, invention, and experimentation could be opening doors for you because of new characters or new zany ideas or new adventures coming up in your social life that could help you to get away from stuck conditions, old business, old timelines, and old stories that really are not paying off and won't. We also have Saturn and Neptune both turning retrograde in Aries, which is your 9th house of expansion, big moves, big travel opportunities, as well as prominence and official matters and anything that you're looking to maybe grow in your life. Now, with Saturn and Neptune retrograde, it's actually arguable that they are much less complicated when they are retrograde than when they are direct. And so this could be actually a very good turn of events for a lot of people. We've got Neptune retrograde kind of taking away the dreamy, misty, rose-colored glasses experience and putting on the X-ray specs instead. And so we have a lot of truths being revealed and veils dropping around you, whether this has to do with people, whether it has to do with contracts, arrangements, circumstances. A lot of things that were hidden are coming into the light of day for all to see. But this can actually be very advantageous, especially when it comes to things that maybe you've been trying to accomplish or pull off, but you didn't know how or with whom or under what conditions. However, with Saturn also being retrograde, this is going to be opening up a time where a lot of restrictions, limitations, and confining conditions in your life are also going to be released, removed, or at least relieved enough so you can get some breathing room and see some really important successes, especially around situations in your life that have been forced to stay small, contained, or have not had their opportunity to grow and become something. We also have a full moon in Capricorn mid-month. This is your 6th house of work and reputation and schedule, as well as anything relating to the teams that you're on, the teams that you serve, and the teams that you serve with. Now, a full moon in the 6th house can also indicate a transformation where you might be noticing some kind of work trajectory is getting set up for a bit of a turn down the road. A full moon in the 6th house can indicate good opportunities for us to set ourselves up for some kind of raise, promotion, or uptick in status, whether it's in a community or, again, in a work situation. And that begins following this full moon and kind of becomes a journey of its own throughout the course of the next few months. This is, however, also a time with this full moon in Capricorn, though, where you could be noticing a departure from certain community and professional staples in your life. And again, this feeling of replacements, switches, and swaps comes back again for you. We also have the Sun, a new moon, and Mercury retrograde all in your sign, forming a new cluster as we go through the end of July and on into August. And this is all about new beginnings, fresh starts, and new commitments for some kind of deeply personal ambition, wish, or dream, right? Whenever we have celestial activity in our sign, it's all about coming back to our path, our story, our life, irrespective of what we've got tied up with other people or work or family or partnerships, right? Getting back to our own story and journey. And with the Sun, a new moon, and Mercury all retrograde here, there is going to be a new beginning or a new opportunity for a personal dream, ambition, or project to be realized. However, it will require you to change some old decisions, unmake some old decisions, or maybe even break from old trajectories or old attachments to when we may have attempted such in the past or under whatever conditions those were there with or with whom. So that is what I've got for your astrology for July, Leo. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Virgo people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in that down bar below. And if you're watching this in June, don't forget my solstice sale is on right now. And so through the second half of June, 25% off all live readings and 25% off all video reports from me if you would like to get either one. And you can, again, go on ahead to my website and check it out if you are still watching this in June. So what's going on with your July and the astrology weather for you? Well, we start off July with the Sun and Jupiter together in Cancer, which is your 11th house of friendships, your support system, and community. And this is all about good fortune, big wins, and big advancements coming to you through people and affiliations that you have. But also at the same time, Virgo, this is a time where you are going through a very powerful raise up in terms of your popularity, and we could even say celebrity status in the world, whether it's in big ways or small ways, locally, or maybe even bigger. The Sun and Jupiter together is a beautiful combination for all things bringing wealth, good fortune, and support your way. And you may be noticing that people and crowds are also starting to take notice of you. This could also be a very important period for anybody looking to grow their social circle, or maybe even to delve into stronger bonds and stronger connections with professional relationships and family relationships that they are looking to bring closer into the fold for themselves, as well as also, yes, a big boost for your love life. We've also got Venus in Gemini pretty much all month long, with her bringing the focus of favor, affection, generosity, and love to your 10th house of career, upward mobility, promotions, and raises. And with Venus in your 10th house, business is booming for the Virgo people. A lot of you are becoming powerhouses and maybe even becoming, officially or unofficially seen as pretty important authority figures in your work and career spaces. Recognition, power, but also, again, good compensation is pretty much magnetized to you. And you may be noticing that the powers that be and authority figures that may work about or above you or have some kind of power or say over what goes on around you are also showing you some very important favor as well. We also have Mars in your sign, right? Mars in Virgo, your first house. It's all about you. It's all about your ambitions, your projects, your drives, your wishes, dreams, and goals that are really private and personal, right? Irrespective of what you might have going on with other people, partners, work, family, things like that. When Mars is in our sign, this is the time where a lot of you Virgo people are enjoying the power, passion, and obstacle clearing energies of Mars, allowing you to actually make some serious headway with some kind of important move, shift, project, or ambition you are looking to achieve or accomplish this year. With Mars in your first house, it's really kind of turning you into an unstoppable force as we go through the month of July. Pay attention to what it is you are trying to accomplish and raise up in the world. Also pay attention to who might be showing up, right? Yes, the Sun and Jupiter are bringing you help, but Mars in one's first house is also going to be aligning you with people that are also trying to achieve the same ends, new and known, and pulling them closer or you closer to them. We also have Uranus entering Gemini, your 10th house of career, upward mobility, as well as, of course, promotions and raises. And Uranus is all about invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation. And this could be shaking a lot of things up in the world of your market, your career, your business, and just, your work life and vocation in general. Uranus being about upheaval can sometimes indicate a complete overhaul of how things are done in the business world as it relates to you. But this can also be extremely helpful, especially if you've not been liking how things have been getting done. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on around here. We also have the planet of invention, novelty, and experimentation raising you up for opportunities to maybe take on certain experimental roles, experimental journeys, and anything that is actually going to be, again, maybe bringing a bit more brightness, a bit more wildness, and of course, a bit more liquidity into your career space. We have Saturn and Neptune both turning retrograde this month in Aries, your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, as well as shared anything that you might be sharing responsibility-wise with a partner, a business partner, or romantic partner. And this is also an area that includes debts and investments. Now, Neptune and Saturn retrograde could be argued to be very good. They are both more complicated when they're direct than when they are retrograde. But we are seeing here a lot of truths being revealed and veils dropping around opportunities for gainful wins financially that have maybe been escaping you in the past. And with Saturn turning retrograde, restrictions, limitations, and confining conditions around your earning power, or maybe even other debts or financial obligations, are also going to be easing and disappearing as we go through this next few months. We have a full moon in Capricorn also lighting up the sky mid-month, and this is landing in your 5th house of love, romance, personal enterprises, and artistic endeavors. And a full moon here could be making things very sensual, very romantic, very hot in the love department, especially for those of you looking to maybe raise the roof and level up an element of your personal life. This is also a time where some kind of important completion or graduation or evolution could be going on for a personal business enterprise or, again, artistic project you're looking to make a big move with. Finally, as we close up the month, we go into the second half with the Sun, Mercury retrograde, and a new moon all in Leo, your 12th house of the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, as well as shortcuts. And this combination is actually really, really good, but a bit weird to navigate because new moons are all about new beginnings, fresh starts, clean slates, and, well, new commitments. And in the 12th house, it's all about bringing something back to life or getting a chance to do something over or resurrect something or bring something into a new glory. However, with Mercury retrograde, well, this is also a time where you might have that opportunity show up, but you're going to have to change an old decision, an old plan, or an old element of an old wish or dream if you are to make it so. So that's what we've got for your astrology for July, Virgo. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Libra people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what's going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather forecast for July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow those links in the down bar below. If you're watching this in June, remember it's time for my solstice sale from the 16th through the 30th of June. And so if you want to get 25% off live readings with me or a video report from me, you've got a sale. So what's going on when it comes to your July? Well, we start off the month with the Sun and Jupiter together in the sign Cancer, which is your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, and promotions and raises. And this is all about good fortune, big wins, and big advancements for you. And when we have these two working together as a combo, some very important highlights are happening as it relates to not only a huge boost in terms of your earning power, opportunities for raises and promotions, but even better jobs, better roles, and maybe even superior career trajectories and superior career commitments than maybe you had originally attached yourself to once upon a time. July is definitely a month where we don't want to be the straight and narrow thinkers because it's time to know how to swim and fly instead. And when we have Saturn and Jupiter together, there could be some very good wins coming your way and some very big bucks, but you've got to be flexible. We've also got Venus in Gemini, your 9th house of expansion, growth, big moves, big travel opportunities, and anything to do with prominence and official matters. And Venus in this part of your chart is all about bringing favor, affection, generosity, and love, and taking it on some pretty wild adventures. A lot of you are going to be noticing your personal lives becoming a lot more outgoing, a lot more ambitious, but also at the same time bringing a touch of the exotic to you and a significant other, getting a little bit more wild and getting a little bit more feisty. And for those of you who are single or are available to new people, you might be getting a chance to enjoy a touch of the foreign or the exotic or something out of your wheelhouse in love, or possibly even some kind of important new spiritual element coming into your love lives as well, whether it's with a significant other or, again, for the singles, somebody new. We also have Mars in Virgo all month long. This is your 12th house of the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, as well as shortcuts. And Mars is all about power, passion, potentially conflict, and obstacle clearing. And with Mars in the 12th house, this is a time where all kinds of different issues, blockages, burdens from the past that have followed you into the present or could still be exerting a negative influence over the present are coming up to be cleared, coming up to be eliminated. And this can actually be, of course, a very important snowplow in July kind of experience for a lot of you Libra people. Mars in the 12th house can also indicate some kind of help coming your way this month, possibly from more than one special kind of hidden, secret, or private benefactor. Somebody that is, again, rooting for you, somebody in your corner, new or known, whether they want you to know they're there or not, is likely going to be making some power moves on your behalf. We also have Uranus entering Gemini, that 9th house of expansion, big moves, big travel opportunities, and all of that. And with Uranus in the 9th house, the planet of invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation, this is a time where a lot of you Libra people are probably going to be noticing a huge transformation to the layout of your world. Now, with Uranus being in the 9th house, this can also be the opening of a lot of out and away kind of experiences. Getting out of your bubble, getting out of your control zone, getting out of your comfort zone, getting a chance to also make some lucky breaks happen with your life by going into the new and the unknown. With upheaval and experimentation being in the picture as well, however, you may also be finding out about some very cool or very special ways to raise yourself up in the world that defy the conventions of either maybe some social norms or some career norms, depending on how you go about working it out. We also have Saturn and Neptune both turning retrograde in Aries, which is, of course, your 7th house of partnerships and closest one-on-one connections. This is the area of your life that rules the best friend, the BFF, the business partner, the husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, roommate, all of those kinds of close one-on-one connections. And Saturn and Neptune retrograde could be argued to be better, or at least less complicated to work with, than when they are direct. With Neptune being retrograde, we're going to be seeing a time where the rose-colored glasses come off and the X-ray specs come on. And this could be a time where a lot of important truths are getting revealed, a lot of puzzles are getting solved, and a lot of riddles are getting solved as well, especially things that have been creating maybe some issues or some challenges for partnerships, or even getting the partnerships that you want. And with Saturn turning retrograde, well, restrictions, limitations, and confining conditions are also going to be getting eased over the course of the next few months. And so if you've been feeling like your personal life, your partnerships, or even business ambitions have been hitting roadblocks in partnerships, this is going to be a good pair of retrogrades for you. We also have a full moon in Capricorn, which is your 4th house of home, family, residential concerns, as well as home economy in the middle of the month. And this is spelling some kind of important transition, transformation, or ending that is helping you to break free of something that you have long since outgrown, or no longer works for you, or no longer works for your family, or no longer works for your household income arrangement. And this could be a great time for those of you who are looking to make those changes on a paperwork or money level, or this could be great news for those of you looking to make some kind of move or family arrangement adjustment, however you choose to make it so. And finally, at the back end of the month, we've got the Sun, a new moon, and Mercury retrograde all in Leo together, creating a new cluster, which is going to be a big theme of early August as well. And when we have a new moon, it's all about clean slates, it's all about fresh starts, it's all about new commitments. But with the Sun and Mercury retrograde in the mix, well, now we're kind of seeing a situation where it's not just about those two things, it's also about changing old decisions and old trajectories to make it so. A lot of you are going to be noticing some old dreams or old wishes, or maybe even some social ambitions that you have are coming back on the table to be revisited. And Mercury retrograde is going to be having you kind of go through a bit of a sweet reunion experience. It's one of the easiest places to have Mercury retrograde, that 11th house. But you've got to be ready to make sure that you change some old setups in your life to accommodate the return or the restart of some special new commitments and new connections. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all my Scorpio people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather forecast for July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow those links in the down bar below. And if you happen to be watching this in June, remember, it's the time of the year where I do my solstice sale. And so from now to the end of June, it's 25% off all live call readings, Zoom readings, and video reports from me. So whatever floats your boat, there's something on sale. So what's going on when it comes to your July? Well, we start off the month with the Sun and Jupiter together in your 9th house, Cancer, the house of big moves, big travel opportunities, expansion, growth, prominence, and anything relating to long-distance connections and official dealings. And this is going to be a month where a lot of you Scorpio people are really getting pushed into the unknown for your own good. A lot of you are going to be finding that this month is really kind of taking you on a bit of a trip, especially when it comes to getting yourself into a space where you're expanding your social circles, making more money, but it's happening by getting out of your backyard, out of the familiar, out of your bubble. This is a beautiful time for anybody looking to set up important trips, important travel plans, whether it's for this month or later on in the year, big moves as well. And you may be noticing that any kind of work or business that you have where you do rely on word of mouth or promotions or marketing or anything online are also going through a wonderful shift here too. This is also a time where a lot of important gifts, a lot of important favors and wins could be coming your way, again, from long distance connections and long distance hookups. We also have Venus in Gemini pretty much all month long. This is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, bonus capital, shared responsibilities, and anything to do with maybe intimacy and the romantic realm as well. And with Venus, the planet of love, generosity, affection, and favor, this is going to be a month where you're kind of becoming a bit of a magnet to a lot of material support from avenues that are kind of outside your normal base, predictable salary or hourly income. Now, this could, of course, indicate some very happy boosts and bonuses, or this could also just indicate some very important favors or generous exchanges coming your way as well. This is also a time where you may notice your love life is becoming a lot more intimate, a lot more close, as Venus likes to bring in more depth of intimacy through vulnerability, taking down walls, taking down armor, and bringing in closeness and attracting people that desire the same closeness that we do on the terms that we do. For those of you who are single or available, and for those of you who are coupled, things could be getting quite hot throughout the course of July as well. We also have Mars in Virgo, which is your 11th house of friendships, your support system, and community. Mars in this part of your chart is all about passion and power, helping you to clear important obstacles and solve what could seem to be unsolvable problems and open doors for you by bringing people closer into your life. Your friends are really showing up for you this month. Your allies are really showing up for you this month. Mars in Virgo is all about loyalty and honor amongst the community, brotherhood, sisterhood, camaraderie. And this is also a time where Mars is helping you, especially when it comes to transforming the lay of the land of your social life to have that perfect sense of squad and that perfect sense of dream team. And this is going to be helping you out both professionally and socially. Just keep in mind with Mars in the 11th house, Mars does not do fair weather friends or personas or friendships that are superficial. And there could be some reveals going on, as Mars can be about conflict too, where some people we thought were friends or thought were trustworthy might not be, and Mars is going to be trying to root them out. We also have Uranus entering Gemini, that 8th house we spoke about before. Uranus being the planet of invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation. And so this month, you may also be noticing that a lot of your world is getting kind of turned upside down with a lot of surprises, especially around opportunities to boost your income or boost your material wealth that do require you to change the very structure about how you run other areas of your life, whether it's how you run your schedule, run your household, run your relationships, run your obligations to other people. Uranus can also bring in opportunities for big wins by chance. So yes, this is a month where I don't normally like to talk about this kind of stuff on horoscopes, but if you did want to sensibly, try your hand at maybe some games of chance, you would be doing very, very well. Uranus is going to be kind of playing around with that a lot over the course of the next few months for you. But just keep in mind, Uranus can also be a challenge to make sure that we keep under control. We don't want to get too wild or too crazy. Allow things to get shook up and allow some novelty to help you out, some experimentation to help you out. But to mitigate upheaval, you want to make sure that you're keeping your head on straight and you have a sense of discipline with all things that come up, whether they are projects, income avenues, or collaborations that are out of the box. We also have Saturn and Neptune both turning retrograde in Aries. This is your 6th house of work, your reputation, your schedule, anything relating to the teams that you're on, the business that you perform, and the communities that you serve. Now, with Saturn and Neptune both going retrograde, it could be argued that they are much less complicated than when Saturn and Neptune are direct. And so for a lot of you this month and going into the rest of the year pretty much, not the whole year, but the rest of it for the majority, we've got a lot of truths getting revealed and veils dropping around opportunities for you to change a work or career trajectory to something higher. However, there could also be some reveals going on as well, where we may have to drop or walk away from something that is revealed to be not good for us that we've committed to. Luckily, Saturn retrograde is also going to be easing a lot of limitations, restrictions, and confining conditions around work, financial, and job processes so you can make the moves you need to make. We also have a full moon in Capricorn mid-month, and this is happening in your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, as well as anything relating to helpful third parties and collaborations. And in the second half of the month, a lot of you may be making some escapes from certain collaborations or certain connections, or maybe even certain contracts or agreements that have been binding you up, whether this has to do with paper contracts, or this has to do with just obligations to people, and anything where you have been entangled with others or entangled with situations that have been speaking for your time, your availability, your spending money. This full moon in Capricorn is going to give you an exit that maybe you have been waiting to have. And finally, as we go into the end of the month, we've got a new cluster forming with the Sun, a new moon, and Mercury retrograde all in Leo, your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, promotions, and of course, raises. And with a new moon and the Sun here, we are seeing, of course, new beginnings, new commitments, new clean slates, and getting a chance to also take on some kind of higher road for yourself and possibly something that could pay out nicely. But that Mercury retrograde is saying that it's going to require you to be ready to change an old decision or change some kind of old plan or change some kind of old setup or rework, reform, or maybe even revise something else in order to make it so. So that is what we've got for your astrology for July, Scorpio. I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene. And if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, you can head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Sagittarius people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see just what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather forecast for July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow those links in the down bar below. Don't forget, if you are watching in June, I've got my solstice sale going on right now, which is going to be going up through the end of June. 25% off live readings with me, as well as video reports from me. So whatever kind of reading you want to get, there's something on sale for you. So what's going on when it comes to your July? Well, we start off the month with the Sun and Jupiter together in the sign Cancer, which is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, self-employment earnings, and anything relating to shared responsibilities that you might have with a partner, a business partner, or a romantic partner, as well as even this is a house of bonus capital. And that's really what a lot of this month is about for you. With the Sun and Jupiter together, you might be noticing a lot of income avenues in your life starting to widen and become more substantial in their payout for you, which is what Jupiter is all about for you for this next year anyway. We also have the Sun and Jupiter coming together, bringing in some kind of big advancement or big win to a personal project, personal investment, or something that you have been hoping to see take off and start to pay out more, whatever you've been doing. If you've not had anything going on or you got nothing going on in this area of your chart, you might want to think about getting something that you've had as an idea, well, getting it on the move this month with this kind of energy here. We also see the Sun and Jupiter bringing good fortune to you through important connections. Partnerships are going to be thriving, but also at the same time, possibly good news coming to a partner, a business partner, or a romantic partner of a financial nature. That's also going to be something you can celebrate and share in as well. We also have Venus in Gemini, which is your 7th house of partnerships, closest one-on-one connections, boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people you have your most involved one-on-one connections with. And with Venus here pretty much all month long, the planet of love, generosity, affection, and favor is really bringing in the love when it comes to your personal life. In fact, with Venus in either houses 7 or 5, in this case for you 7, we tend to go into a bit of a honeymoon season. And this is going to be a period where a lot of you are getting a chance to enjoy that with a sweetheart, a romantic partner, or for those of you single or available, have somebody new drawn into your life to also have some honeymoon moments with, if that's what you're looking for. We also have Mars in Virgo, your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, promotions, and raises all month long. And Mars in the 10th house is all about power, passion, and obstacle clearing, helping to bring you bigger, better business, bigger, better work, more substantial projects, but possibly at the same time, also making things a bit more competitive in the workplace or bringing you some competitive opportunities for new roles and new jobs. Just keep in mind when it comes to Mars in the 10th house, things can be a little bit more conflict prone if we are not careful. And we don't want friendly professional competition to get ugly. But you also want to show up and throw your weight around so you can cash in on competitive wins and competitive opportunities on the table for you. We also have Uranus entering Gemini, that 7th house of partnerships. And Uranus is the planet of invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation. And this is starting up a series of several months where a lot of you are maybe noticing the dynamic or maybe even the road or the future of a lot of important one-on-one relationships are going into kind of a wild experimental place. Uranus in the 7th house can feel a little bit destabilizing at times, but this can also be bringing in a lot more fun, a lot more invention, a lot more novelty, and a lot more sparks into important connections. Uranus here could indicate that there is a shift in how we want to perform certain relationships or how a partnership is performing in general, or possibly even an alteration of course with regards to a partnership plan or a future goal into something that's actually going to be maybe a lot more satisfying or fulfilling for all parties involved. We also have Saturn and Neptune both turning retrograde in Aries, your 5th house of love and romance, personal business enterprises, and artistic endeavors. And Saturn and Neptune going retrograde, as I've said for everybody, can be argued to be a lot less complicated than when Saturn and Neptune are direct. And with Saturn and Neptune retrograde here, we're seeing a lot of truths getting revealed, veils dropping, but also a lot of puzzles and a lot of riddles and problems getting solved, especially where things have maybe been creating a muckiness, a murkiness, or any kind of problems around relationship concerns or relationship priorities. We also see Saturn easing restrictions and limitations and removing confining conditions. And so there's going to be also a removal of a lot of blocks that maybe have been holding maybe your personal life or maybe a personal business aspiration or an artistic endeavor, or maybe your own sense of talent, your own sense of creativity, your own muse, so to speak, in a confining condition or in a stagnant place. This is not just for this month. This is something that's going to be going on for pretty much the next few months as well. And so you might be noticing kind of a breath of fresh air, but also kind of a shift into a brand new day in all areas around your personal life and just, again, your creative world. We also have a full moon in Capricorn mid-month in your 2nd house of income, employment, and security. And this full moon is all about, of course, culminations and transitions and endings. And a full moon in the second house can indicate, well, the second half of this month, there could be kind of a track change around some kind of financial or professional story, or a track change around a professional or financial matter. This could be the completion of a project, the completion of an era, or maybe the closing of a book as it relates to a financial or professional situation, and the opening of something new as we go on into August. And finally, we also have the Sun, a new moon, and Mercury retrograde forming a new cluster of planets in Leo, which is your 9th house of expansion, growth, big moves, big travel opportunities, and anything relating to long-distance connections and official matters. Now, with the new moon and the Sun here, we're seeing new beginnings, fresh starts, and new commitments here. And this could indicate some kind of big break that is helping you to maybe start some kind of brand new adventure, whether you are looking to travel, you're looking to expand your horizons, maybe explore new social connections, again, moving, traveling, always supported here, or anything that you're looking to promote or launch to make bigger where it stayed once small. However, with Mercury retrograde here, in order for this to pay off or to land, you may also need to be ready to change an old decision, an old plan, or an old commitment in order to make room for it. So that is what we've got for your astrology and July, Sagittarius. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Capricorn people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what's going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather report for July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, you can head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow those links in that down bar below. If you're watching this in June, remember I've got my solstice sale going on right now, 25% off all live call readings as well as video report readings from me. So there's something in it regardless of what your schedule can do. And so if you're watching in June, might want to hit me up. So what's going on when it comes to your July? Well, we start off the month with the Sun and Jupiter together in Cancer in your 7th house of partnerships, the closest one-on-one connections. This is your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people you have your most involved one-on-one connections with. And this is all about good fortune, big wins, and big advancements coming your way in all joint ventures, anywhere where you are actually joined forces with somebody in some way. Platonic, romantic, business, it does not matter. With these two together, this could indicate as well some kind of shared win happening in your personal life or in your professional life, where everybody involved is also getting lifted up quite high this month. And this is also a time where a lot of partnerships are starting to become more ambitious, more industrious, and more productive. And this could also be a very special time where some of you could be attracting into your life, if you're single or looking, for somebody who might actually be trying to work on the same kind of magnum opus project or goal as you. We also have Venus in Gemini all month long. This is your 6th house of work, reputation, schedule, as well as anything to do with the teams that you're on, the people you serve, and the people that you serve with. Now, with Venus in Gemini, this is a time where you are becoming kind of the office favorite. Venus in the 6th house is all about you rising up in your authority, getting favor from authority figures, but also at the same time attracting better business, better customers, better projects, better assignments, better shifts, better benefits to yourself. And generosity and affection could come to you also in the form of some important favors happening environmentally, on purpose, or by circumstance, in a way where you are getting set up for a fairly golden summer. We also have Mars in Virgo all month long. This is your 9th house of expansion, growth, big moves, big travel opportunities, and anything relating to official matters, prominence, or anything where you are going to be taken out of your bubble. And this is also an area that talks about long distance connections. Now, with Mars in Virgo here, the planet of power, passion, and obstacle clearing, this is a time where a lot of you may be noticing long distance connections, friends far away, friends online, or maybe even important connections that you have that are just not near at hand are helping you to fight and win some battles that you've been kind of dealing with on the home front. This is also a time where a lot of you are getting a chance to escape situations that maybe are kind of stuck or on repeat that you really do need to be able to move out of. Mars is also going to be helping you, especially when it comes to getting past any kind of roadblocks around move or travel plans that you'd like to get off the ground, and anything where you are trying to maybe change, alter, or end big contracts, big agreements, or big decisions that you're committed to now. Mars is going to be helping you out through that too. We also have Uranus entering Gemini, that 6th house of work and schedule. And with Uranus entering Gemini, this next few months, starting July, is going to be kind of wild at work. We have invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation being the name of the game of Uranus. And you might be noticing that your work world or your community is going through a powerful shakeup, but something that could actually be very opportune while at the same time potentially stressful. Invention, novelty, and experimentation could transform things to be more efficient, more fulfilling, and more profitable, but upheaval could come in the form of changes happening too fast to feel like we can keep up. Whatever happens with Uranus in the 6th house, it's really important to lean into things and not try to break. What happens often with people I've seen with Uranus in the 6th house is that they kind of find themselves in a situation where their community, their workplace, or their jobs tend to be going through some powerful good shifts, but they might be working with people or around sensibilities that are afraid of change or can't keep up when it comes to their training, their education, what's demanded of them, and the people around them fold and things get difficult. So make sure you're ready to keep up, because this will actually win you some good opportunities, but you've got to keep up with those changing times. We also have Saturn and Neptune turning retrograde in Aries, your 4th house of home, family, living situation, and home economy. And this is all about truths getting revealed and veils dropping, as well as the easing of limitations, restrictions, and confining conditions. Now, what's interesting about Saturn and Neptune retrograde is that it could be argued that they are, well, less complicated than when they are direct. And that's very true in this case. Because with this month, and even for the next few months, you're going to be getting a chance to do some very important improvement work around household finances and household and family matters, especially when it comes to puzzles or to challenges or to complications that didn't have an answer. Whether these are, again, practical or interpersonal, everything is kind of coming out. Saturn retrograde easing restrictions and limitations is also going to be helping you and maybe partners or family members where we have been trapped in some kind of difficult family scenario, and helping to remove the boundaries or the barricades around that scenario so that we can actually make some important transformations that we want on the home front or around our living conditions or, again, family setups. And finally, well, not finally, we've got a couple more to talk about here. Mid-month, we've got a full moon in Capricorn, the big full moon of transitions, endings, and culminations in your sign. Now, the reason I say it's big is because a full moon in one's own sign can indicate a very big shift where you are getting a chance in the second half of the month to make an important turning point with your own personal road. Whenever we have activity in our sign, it's all about us, what we've got going on, irrespective of what's happening with other people. And you could be bringing to a close some kind of chapter, commitment, or road you have been on for some time that is actually going to be bringing in some kind of new fresh air or free air. This could also indicate an opportunity for you to close or end or scrap something that you've been forced to carry into the present but no longer. And finally, for your new moon of the month, we've got a special little cluster forming in Leo. The second half of the month is almost entirely governed by the Sun, a new moon, and Mercury together, retrograde, in your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, self-employment, as well as bonus income, and anything relating to shared responsibilities. Now, this new moon is all about new beginnings, new commitments, clean slates, and fresh starts, and the Sun is also bringing in new wealth. However, this Mercury retrograde is saying that in order for us to capitalize on this, we may need to be ready to change, rewind, or reverse an old decision or an old setup that we have, or change our minds about an old decision we once made in order to make this work for us. So that's what we've got for your astrology for July. Capricorn. Someone's going to comment about it. Capricorn. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Aquarius people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see just what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather forecast for July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me where we can look at your personal chart, your personal questions, head on over to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or we can follow the links in the down bar below. If you're watching in June, I've got my solstice sale going on here the second half of June. So if you are still watching in June and you want 25% off live readings as well as even 25% off video reports, they are actually different. Some people have made some mistakes in the past. You can, of course, do that at my website, integrativemysticism.com. So what's going on when it comes to your July? Well, we've got the Sun and Jupiter together in the sign Cancer for the first half of the month. Jupiter will actually be there for the next 12 months, lighting up your 6th house of work, reputation, schedule, the teams that you're on, the structure of your life, and the community that you serve and what you get back from your community. And the Sun and Jupiter together is a beautiful combination for getting more value for what you are bringing to the workforce, for what you're bringing to the world, better business across the board. With the Sun and Jupiter together as well, you might be noticing that your stock, your reputation in both your professional and in your personal communities is also on the rise. And there could even be a very important transformation environmentally starting to get underway that is going to be lining you up with maybe changing a lane, as it were, either professionally or maybe across the board to get into, let's just say, some big city activity as we go through the rest of 2025. We also have Venus in Gemini pretty much all month long, and Uranus entering Gemini and staying in Gemini for the next couple of months. And this is your 5th house of love, romance, but also the area of personal enterprises and artistic pursuits. Now, this combination is kind of wild because for a lot of you, there is going to be this sort of zany feel coming to your personal lives. A lot more adventure, experimentation, novelty, and invention, thanks to Uranus getting active, but also at the same time, Venus in Gemini bringing in love, affection, and favor, turning this into kind of a wild and very outgoing honeymoon month for everybody, whether it's going into a brand new honeymoon phase with somebody new or new-ish, or for those of you who are coupled, perhaps reigniting some fires or lighting some new fires in your love life and getting a chance to have a second or third or however many honeymoon phases you're in now. So this is going to be a really, really good month. We also have Mars in Virgo, which is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, as well as intimacy, as well as shared resources with other people in partnerships. So things that could be coming from other people, right? Business partners, romantic partners. Now with Mars in Virgo, this can be a very powerful time for a lot of bonus capital because Mars is all about obstacle clearing, power, and passion. And so you might be noticing a lot of bonus money coming your way, as well as a lot of passive income streams, investments, and all kinds of things like that starting to mature and pay out more. This is also a time where surprise money could be coming your way, but also at the same time, you've got to be careful with Mars in the 8th house. It can be very tempting to over leverage your wins this month. And so you don't want to bet the farm just because you're winning the farm. Pay attention to how you balance what's going in and what's coming out. And Mars is also really going to be helpful in the love department because things tend to get a bit wild and carnal with him in the 8th house as well. We also have Saturn and Neptune both turning retrograde in Aries, in your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, contracts, helpful third parties, and collaborations. Now, these two going retrograde at the same time could be argued to be actually less complicated than when they are direct, because when we have Neptune go retrograde, we have truths getting revealed, veils dropping, and puzzles getting solved. And when Saturn goes retrograde, we have eased restrictions and limitations and the removal of confining conditions. And so throughout July and pretty much this next handful of months, a lot of you are getting a chance to give the slip to a lot of binding or constraining or confining setups, situations, agreements, and contracts or commitments that have been kind of running in your life, or maybe keeping you in a space where you are stuck or bound to things that are actually maybe deleterious to you in some way, or maybe even have a bigger, not so great effect. Whatever the case is, this is loosening knots, loosening ties, and helping for a lot of you to also make some very important segues into other chapters of your life or new chapters in your life that have been waiting their turn to start. We also have a full moon in Capricorn mid-month, and this is your 12th house of the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, as well as shortcuts in old business. Now, a full moon is all about transformations, culminations, and graduations, and even endings to a certain degree. Now, when the full moon falls in the 12th house, this can be a very powerful second portion of July, where there is something that has maybe followed you from the past, or something that you have overstayed or has been overstaying in your life, disappearing and going away. This is a time of clearing and removing something that has maybe exerted a negative influence from the past for good. This is actually a really, really good and very freeing full moon, but I've often found sometimes this can happen in a way where there's a breakthrough experience. So the second portion of July could come with feeling like you're going through a bit of a whirl, but it is something you want to be patient with because it is clearing your slate. And finally, as we go through the very end of July and on into August, we have the Sun, a new moon, and Mercury retrograde clustering up in Leo, your 7th house of partnerships and closest one-on-one connections. And this is the area that rules the boyfriend, girlfriend, the BFF, the business partner, the husband, wife, the roommate, all the people you have your most involved one-on-one connections and joint ventures with. And a new moon and the Sun here is all about new beginnings, fresh starts, new commitments that are getting underway as we go into August. But Mercury retrograde here is also indicating, while there is kind of a clean slate feel, and again, a beautiful new beginning, new roads opening here, it's going to be something that requires us to be ready to change an old decision or change an old trajectory for a partnership or a partnership ideal in order for us to make a new commitment work. So just be prepared. There might be some old decisions, old plans, or old agendas that do need to be reworked, reformed, or reframed in some way for whatever this new beginning is, so that it can actually have its room to thrive. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, you can head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all my Pisces people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see just what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological weather forecast for the month of July 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, you can head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in that down bar below. If you're watching in June, I've got a sale going on right now, 25% off all live readings and video reports from me. And remember, live readings and video reports are technically different. I've had some people kind of get mixed up already, so I just want to put that out there. But it's on if you are watching in June. So head on over to my website if you are interested in cashing in on that sale. So what's going on when it comes to your July? Well, we start off the month with the Sun and Jupiter joining forces in your 5th house of love, romance, as well as personal business enterprises and artistic pursuits, and that is the sign Cancer. And with the Sun and Jupiter together here, it's just beautiful. And it's tops all around for the Pisces people, because with good fortune, big wins, and big advancements coming your way, this is all about your personal life starting to go through a massive level up. Now, for those of you who are single or available to new people, this is going to be a time where you are very, very popular. Let's not forget, Jupiter liked to get around, but this is also a time where we are seeing some kind of big win or good fortune that could likely come to a partnership or a close relationship, or through a close relationship or through a close partnership of some kind. This is also a time where a personal business enterprise or artistic pursuit could be getting a chance to get the show on the road, especially when it comes to things that maybe do need to be able to develop or grow that have not really been developing or growing, or maybe have not actually matured the way that they were supposed to mature. We also have Venus in Gemini, and you're pretty much all month long, and Uranus entering Gemini this month, and Uranus will be here also in August and September. And this is your fourth house of home, family, your home economy, and residential circumstances. Now, with Uranus entering Gemini, the planet of invention, novelty, upheaval, and experimentation, coupled with Venus, the planet of favor, affection, generosity, and also attraction, this is a time where you might be noticing something going on where the very foundations of what you would consider to be a residential world going through a powerful shift. Now, this could be a time for a lot of you to cash in on some kind of home-based business operation or some kind of family or household win. This could also be a time for those of you to maybe cash in on a brilliant opportunity for a move or a sale or something that actually puts the family in a better place, either environmentally or just in a material sense. And this is also a time where you might find that with Venus being in the fourth house as well, there could be something that is helping to set you up to kind of put yourself and maybe what you would call your ideal residential situation on easy street. We have Mars in Virgo all month long. This is your seventh house of partnerships and closest one-on-one connections. So the boyfriend, girlfriend, the BFF, the business partner, the husband, wife, the roommate, all of the individuals you have your most involved or close, intimate, one-on-one connections and ties with. Now, with Mars in Virgo all month long, remember, Mars is the planet of power, passion, and obstacle clearing, but also the planet of conflict. And with Mars in the seventh house, you may be finding that there is something coming up throughout the course of this month where partnerships are going through some important evolutions as well, and a lot of obstacles to maybe being able to have the partnership that you want, for those of you who are single or available, are getting cleared out of the way. However, it may come with a lot of excess activity or maybe some wild adventure time, as that occurs. Mars can also help to remove blockages or maybe even clear up mistakes or errors in partnership situations that maybe have steered a certain connection or maybe a certain plan or a certain setup onto a path, or let's just say, a path that maybe it wasn't supposed to be on. But with Mars here as well, a lot of power and a lot of passion is also coming to your closest relationships and making everyone all the closer as well, because Mars also likes to bring in closeness and break down barriers to closeness, care, and intimacy. We also have Saturn and Neptune both turning retrograde in Aries, your second house of income, employment, and security. And you could argue that Saturn and Neptune are actually less complicated to work with when retrograde than when they are direct. When Neptune turns retrograde, the planet of dreams and the sometimes treacherously murky foggy kind of energy of Neptune turns into more of a reveal period, right? Neptune direct is the rose-colored glasses. Neptune retrograde is X-ray specs. And we also have Saturn turning retrograde, which also eases restrictions, limitations, and also removes confining conditions. And since this is happening in your income sector, you may be finding out a lot of ways to actually clear away or relieve yourself or release yourself from a lot of situations that have actually been compromising your ability to boost your income profile or personal economy, capitalize on important professional gains and opportunities that were either hidden or blocked from you, and also get a chance to maybe make some important steps or take some important steps to remediate even challenges from the past that got started with maybe old professional or old financial decisions or entanglements. And this is not just for July. Again, this is also August and September. And we also have a full moon in Capricorn in mid-month, which is falling in your 11th house of friendships, your support system, and community. Now, a full moon in the 11th house can be a little bit tough to deal with. And in the second half of July, there could be some things coming up where there may be a clearing or a release of a friendship or an association. Full moons are about culminations, transitions, and endings. And sometimes when we have a full moon in the 11th house, it can be a time where a friendship or an association comes to an end, or we decide that it is no longer wise or appropriate for us, or maybe it never was, to be associated with a specific person or maybe even a specific group or community. A lot of the times a full moon in the 11th house is a social pruning period, and that might be a big part of the second half of your month. And finally, you also have the sun, a new moon, and even Mercury retrograde in Leo as we go through the end of July and on into August. And so when we have these three clustering up together in your 6th house of work, reputation, and your schedule, this is a time where some kind of new commitment, right? New moon, new commitment, fresh start, new beginning is getting a chance to be cemented. And the sun is also putting you in a place where you are also getting a chance to bring more fun and more levity into your work life, into your professional life, and into the way that you want to carry on your work with and for the world. However, Mercury retrograde is likely also going to bring up the need for a change or maybe a distancing from an old decision or an old trajectory relating to a professional or financial or project agreement or arrangement from the past, if this is going to be something that can actually happen. So that's what I've got for your astrology and July Pisces. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.